Hello everybody. We are going to work on some escapes and even some transitions into submissions from the bottom of side control position. So when I'm underneath on the side control position, it's imperative that I keep as much of the pressure off of my breathing capacity as I can. Okay, so usually that entails making frames. Okay? I can make frames in between my chest and him. I can make frames at his shoulder and at his hips, okay? And I can also frame against the crossface. It's important to understand the value of the crossface for him because whenever he can control my head, he limits my movement into him. If I can't turn my head into him, it's very difficult for me to turn my shoulders and turn my hips, okay? I will still have some hip movement, and that is an important thing to remember for later on. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to place my hand on his shoulder. It's important that I do not let the heel of my hand get caught in the crook of his shoulder. If I do, it's possible that he can use that, trapping it using his hand, and wrist lock me from here using his shoulder. Okay? So, instead I make sure that my hand is cheated to the outside so that if he starts to pressure on the back of my elbow, this will slide across and avoid the wrist lock pressure, okay? Once I have my hand in place, I'm gonna make a big bridge onto my near side shoulder and open my elbow as I go. This pressure against his chin will create some space that I can then swim my near side hand in against the shoulder as well, okay? As he pressures back in, I'm going to pressure his arm away from his body, okay? So I'm just framing, and his own pressure is what moves his arm away from his body. Okay? My near side hand swims down to the wrist, and my far side hand is going to swim through and allow him to go chest to chest, right? That's what he wanted anyway. And so now I'm in position to wrap the Kimura. Okay? Once I have the Kimura, I need to keep pressure on it. Okay? If it's just here, he's going to make a grip inside, and he's going to be able to defend it. So I need to put pressure on it. Even though I'm not likely to get the finish from here, I need to keep his hand behind his back. Once I'm in this position, I start walking my feet to the north-south position. Okay? Using this pressure, I keep coming up until I'm on my knees. Okay? Now, my knee on the opposite side of where I have the Kimura is going to find his bicep and pin it to the ground. Okay? From here, I lift his shoulder off the ground and step my foot behind his back. I want my foot far enough away from his back that when I pinch my knee in, it pinches against his shoulder. Okay? And now I'm in position to lift his arm up and slowly apply the Kimura pressure to finish. Okay, one more time. Bottom side control position. Position my hand so I'm not going to get caught in a wrist lock. Okay. Big bridge onto the shoulder and open my elbow as I go to make this space so that I can swim my near side hand in against the shoulder and pressure away. As he starts to pressure, I frame against his arm so it comes away from his body. The near side hand slides down to the wrist and the far side hand extends to allow him to pressure into my chest. I make my grip on the wrist and press his hand behind his back, making sure to keep pressure on it so that he's not able to anchor anywhere. Once I have this pressure, I'm going to start walking my feet around to the north-south position, continuing to pressure and coming up to my knees as he rolls through. My knee is going to find his bicep and pin it to the ground. I'm going to pressure into him and step up behind him, lifting his shoulder off the ground. I pinch his knee with his shoulder with my knee and lift up and apply the Kimura finish. Okay, try that out. Let me know if you have questions.